that are 22 feet long. We purposely messed this one up for you guys. You can kind of see where the rows are, but for the most part, I want this to emulate your starting garden. First ever sod busting, let's start a new garden. So we don't rototill here, haven't rototilled in years. If you're breaking open new ground, you may have to rototill the first time. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like how it destroys the soil makeup, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So even though I've messed up these beds, they're still soft enough that we can broad fork them. So the only three tools so far we're using today are the broad fork that we talked about earlier, that 30-inch landscaper rake that we talked about, and a square tip shovel to help form and shape our walkways. So that's all we're going to use today. So first we're going to do is we're going to measure out our rows, and then we're going to broad fork our rows, and then we're going to haul in compost and get this ready to be seeded. So we're going to have three 30-inch beds, and then we put up a section of cattle panels against the greenhouse to trellis some peas. So let's get started. So first we do, like in the other videos I showed you, we're going to take our 30-inch rake and we're going to start forming and mapping out our beds. First bed goes right here along this retaining wall. We're going to level it out, pop out any big clumps. The other thing we did is we did not tarp this bed. Pure accident. So you guys, it actually worked as a pretty good video of not tarping. Now this row, these beds only come to back here. That's where we stop these beds. Underneath this fir tree, we don't grow that well. So we used to have beds go all the way back, but they got pretty weak and not very good production out of here. So, and we kind of still need a walkway. Right over here is the potato and onion bed. So we cut the corner right here, and this gives us a walkway to get back to the back side of the greenhouse and around there. So, not really doing anything for leveling. All I'm doing is marking those. So, that's the first bed. And our walkways are about 12 inches. That's a little narrow, but we're used to walking in a 12-inch walkway. So if you need to make your walkways a little wider, J.M. Fortier, the original market gardener, he does 18-inch walkways. So there's no steadfast rule on how wide your walkway should be. For us though, in the space we have, 30-inch, 12-inch, 30-inch, 12-inch, 30-inch, 12-inch gives a little spot for peas. So if we went 14 or 16, that last bed would be right against the greenhouse. That's a little more difficult. Now we have our 30-inch bed. Again, this looks rough and crude because right now it is. So without tarping your bed for the year, you end up getting a lot of residual weed and grass clumps just like that. And that just adds a lot of extra work that you don't need to have in the springtime. So by tarping those beds, keeps those fall weeds from forming roots, tightening up your soil, and having to put up with what I'm putting up with right now, that I know all of you have all pretty much put up with many times in the past. If this was tarped, none of that would have happened. Roughly bed number 2. Now we're going to broad fork this out and get it ready for compost. So the broad forking, like I said before, all it's doing is lifting and loosening the soil, giving it spots for aeration. You'll get moisture and oxygen down there. The spacing of my broad forks is all relative to how the soil acts. If I have really hard soil, I may fracture it closer together, every one of them being 4 to maybe 6 inches. This being very mellow soil, I'm more like 8 to 10 inches. So when I put it down, I pull it back. I can see it lift and raise that bit of soil to the next holes. So that's knowing that I've loosened the ground all the way across. If I get too far, about 20 inches, it lifts right here. Nothing happened there. So determining how heavy or light, what I mean by that is the amount of times you broad fork it. All depends on how hard or soft your ground is. So if your ground is so hard that on a 4-inch, anything less than a 6-inch broad fork, I would probably till it that first year. Being in mind though, when you till, you're absolutely destroying all soil structures. All worm channels are gone. Worms may eradicate the area for a while, and beneficial microbial activity maybe it will be delayed, halted for some time. So you're kind of making your soil start all over again. So when you till every single year, you're disrupting an entire colony of life under the soil. You till each year and you disrupt that soil life. And I don't know how long it takes to come back, but if every year you're halting your garden for a month, 6 weeks, until that life comes back, it just puts you behind. So I'm a strong advocate to farm with the intention that I'm not going to rototill. The other thing too is you're asking, how deep are you going? Why aren't you going deeper? That all depends on the crops we're going to grow. Crops in here, and most garden crops, are pretty shallow root crop. So you don't need to go that deep, nor will they go that deep. So getting here, now I know this end is very hard. So this end, maybe we'll work deeper. But as you saw, it's not that hard. Then we'll lift it. Okay, so if you're using a broad fork and you have to jump on it, rock it back and forth to get it to the depth I'm at right now, because I'm 6 inches deep right here, and we're going to top this with 2 inches of compost. So that's giving it an 8-inch root space. That 8-inch root space is plenty for all crops. And I know my soil here. I know this soil is soft, deeper than that. Believe it or not, 3 years ago, I got fed up with the soils that I had. They weren't producing. They were soils that were here for years, but I just didn't coming out, and they had a lot of clay in them. So that summertime heat really baked them. So I came in here, this garden bed especially, the other side is better. And I dug this out. I dug this out about really close to 2 feet. I started all over. Alright, so those are 3 beds. I started all over and filled this completely full of wood chips. This was 2 feet of wood chips. All I did was spread compost over it. I did it late in the summer after we cropped out. Dug it out, filled this full of wood chips, and then put about 3 inches of fresh compost on top and tarped it. Tarped it all winter long, made sure it was damp. In the springtime, we pulled back the tarp. All the wood chips you see here. It's basically the wood chips that are left. We haven't hauled any new wood chips in here. So it turned those wood chips into soil. Now, it set us back a full year. Because when you incorporate a large amount of carbaceous material, like wood chips, they tend to soak up nitrogen. Not soak up, tie up. So when they tie up nitrogen, it obviously makes it tougher for your plants to get to them. You see I'm going a little bit deeper right here. These are where peas are going to go. When you plant your peas, plant them very deep. It's amazing how far peas will come. So, we will plant these peas 3-4 inches deep. Compost about 1 inch or 2 on top of them. And it'll make for strong peas. Okay, just like that, we're done. So, we're about 12 feet wide. We're 20 feet long. So, that garden bed is done in 15 minutes. So at this point, we are going to compost these beds. I'll bring you back and we're going to reshape them and show you what it looks like and what we're going to do to get ready to plant. Oh, hey, there you are. Thought y'all left a little earlier. Didn't figure you felt the need to watch a guy run a wheelbarrow back and forth. Figured you're pretty educated on that yourself. So here's our beds. 3 beds, spot for peas. And I know I did a video on this not too long ago, but it brought up a lot of questions of how we did, why we did. I think I felt like I rushed that video with the questions that I was getting back from you. So I felt I'd do this again in a little larger scale, a little bit more understanding of visually seeing it, a little more understanding of the ground and where to go from there. Like I said, we're used to 12-inch walkways. We feel we can turn sideways, squat down, be able to reach where we need to reach. If you need a wider walkway, go ahead, build yourself a wider walkway. But I still believe in the 30-inch bed. Going wider can be detrimental in some ways too. So, but that's completely up to you also. But if you need a little wider bed, go for a little wider bed. I know for a fact this one is going to be cabbage over here, and so that'll probably fit 10 cabbage plants. We may interplant some cucumbers. That way they're shaded underneath the large cabbage leaves. I know one of these is going to be beans. Obviously that one's going to be peas. And I think we're going to run a batch of leaf lettuce in one of these when it gets a little warmer. That way when that sun gets on the other side of the greenhouse, this isn't so warm for that leaf lettuce. But things change. So that's what these beds are going to turn into. And
If you still have some questions on how and why we shape them, please feel free to ask. But that last video sparked a lot of questions, so I thought I would redo it. So here's the shape in your bed. You guys have a good day.